gentlemen, and non-binary folks. Thank you so very much for stopping by tonight. My name is Jinxeekatt. I am going to be your host this evening, and I am so very looking forward to hanging out with you all as I fix Tetcher. I realize I messed up his camera a little bit. There we
I'm
go.
big.
You're big. um, yes. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by. Tonight we have a wonderful Division C West match for you. It's going to be Can't Counter Pick Stupid, the original CCS, versus Clouded Minds After Dark, the second Clouded Minds team. With me tonight is the wonderful Tetcher. How are you? The absolute love of my life.
I am good. I'm very excited for this game. Like you said, the original CCS team and CM After Dark, the newest expansion of Clouded Minds as it stands. The team that I played on in the last season, and I have played with quite a few of these people, and they are absolutely wonderful folks. And I'm very excited to see it. It doesn't help the fact that those two teams are currently equal on points in the division. So the winner here will move into third place in the division.
Yeah, that's really, really exciting. We got a couple of really strong teams, and I think we both have a little bit of attachment to these guys. Myself personally, this is one of my favorite games. I had to snap it up because both of my friend teams are playing, so you really can't be upset about whoever ends up winning. So without further ado, I'm going to bring you guys to the map screen where we can take a look at what's going on, who's going where, all sorts of good stuff. So, as you can see this evening, thank you guys so much for all the follows. Welcome to the stream. CCS banned away Cursed Hollow and Infernal Shrines. Clouded Minds After Dark got rid of Tomb of the Spider Queen. Thank you, Tiger, for the 500 bits. And then Towers of Doom was also banned by Clouded Minds After Dark as well. Clouded Minds won the coin pick and as such opted for the first hero pick. So CCS took us to Volskaya. How do you feel about these maps, the picks, the bans, and everything? Tell me a little bit about, what's going through your mind as you see this map, Tetcher.
A large chunk of the most heavily macro-orientated maps and the most late-game maps have already been taken out here. Cursed Hollow could be one of the longest ones, so could too with the Spider Queen. And in terms of macro, Towers and Cursed are huge up there, and Infernal can be played as a very macro-orientated map. Garden was left in the pool, though, which does make it a little bit interesting, where you see that swapped around a bit, as they have that potential option. But we're starting off with Volskaya Foundry, a game that usually gets to level 20, but is a lot more team fight focused and a lot less focused on hards pushing at lanes and grabbing camps on cooldown, because the camps aren't pushing the lanes most of the time because they are mostly equipment based.
Right, definitely. I'm gonna bring it back over to us, not just me. There we go. As we wait, it looks like Valkymer is actually incoming. So we will have the full CCS team tonight. No subbies, it looks like, which is really awesome. Yeah, so a lot of macro on our first map here. It'll be interesting to see how they play it, because there's a very different way that the tippy top of the Heroes of the Storm community versus, kind of like where you and I are in the gold mines, play the map, and that's in like, are they going to put a whole lot of value on that protector? Are they going to bring the protector to the top lane first, try and get that advantage on the second one, or are they just going to look to try and split push, find value elsewhere? A couple of different ways to play this map.
Absolutely. If we look at CCL, we could see the very different play styles where we had some teams that would 100% ignore the objective and just hard focus on blasting it down and split pushing, a potentially more, I think we could call that the simplicity style, where they would usually Yorick or Zeratul to just hard push a lane. And then we'd see a lot of teams try to focus on the new and improved Zul'jin and just give up the objective every time just to make sure they can stack Zul'jin as fast as possible. So you really get those differentiating styles. And of course, you have that always decision making between, are you going to hard push bot lane to work of, are you going to hard push top lane to try and take out the fountain early? Or are you going to try and just yeet your way through mid just to get a little bit of an XP boost? Or do you push bot lane to try and set yourself up for a keep on objective 3, which can lead into an end game scenario? The three different strategies for the protector style have really divulged so far from each other that it's fascinating to see which way teams go.
Yeah, definitely. A couple of different ways. Looks like the teams are all ready to get rocking and rolling as Valkymer has entered the lobby. No subs today, as I mentioned. So it means I get the uh, grueling pleasure of going through and making sure that all the players are right tonight. So
Well,
no.
they had one sub, didn't they? Or has that been changed?
I'm pretty sure. Well, they said they had one sub, but it looks like everybody who's on the team now is an
Yeah.
official CCS player. So let's see. It looks like
Yeah, I can't see Stoic,
Thorin
so
isn't
looks like we're good.
playing tonight. It looks like instead it's going to be Madathi, Silma, Kelladorn, Osprey, and Valgamer.
Nice. Feels good. Of course, we are working on new patch as well, so it's important to remember that the hotfix has come into play, meaning Tyrael and Falstad are once again allowed in NGS play. So I'll be curious to see if the teams do decide to bring that to bear here.
Yeah, definitely. As I was going to talk about, are you looking forward to, some exciting new plays? Malfurion has been a big talk lately. Falstad would be a great map to pull him out on. Traxxas redeemed. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
Talk all about it. We redeemed a drink, so I'm going to
I,
have to run and grab that in between the game.
I got my bottle. I'm prepared for once. Feels good. Memories of a better time. But in this case, the Falstad on this map is always fantastic due to objectives usually, and there is still a bribe-style talent in the game for a Falstad. So we do have the ability to try and focus objectives that way and get a hard split push on that top lane, which could set you up as an alternative to that bottom lane early. And if not, stealing opponents' equipment, stealing those items for the late game is always effective and can give you a very good time. As we're seeing Garrosh as the first ban on Volskaya Foundry.
First ban, of course, going over to the side of Clouded Minds. I know that Valgamer is a pretty gosh darn Garrosh. Pretty gosh darn Garrosh. Pretty gosh darn good Garrosh. And they don't want to deal with it tonight. So getting rid of that. We're going to see what else comes out. Lots of different heroes right now. Mephisto is really powerful on the map. We're going to see Anduin actually banned away here first. We're going to see if maybe anything else that's just powerful in general is going to be taken out. Your Zul'jins, your Medivhs, your Chromies, those kinds of heroes definitely still have a place no matter what the map is. So curious to see if it's going to be a little bit more respect ban, if we're going to see looking more towards the meta.
We'll have to see here which way are they going to go to begin with. And to get that Hogger out of the way. You mentioned some of those top tier heroes. Even after the recent nerfs to Hogger, most of the pro players have responded with, what nerf? It's really not that noticeable. He still absolutely dunks on almost everything. Just a solid hero in general. When you have an offlane who has the ability to escape any ganks, they're usually quite hard to play against, Leo being a great example, and Hogger being the newest one to join that party.
Hogger's also so great at taking those camps, so definitely not somebody you want to trifle with on a map such as this where the items matter so much. We're going to see ETC taken out here now as immediately Venus is going to pick up the Gazlo.
Excellent to see the Gazlo from Venus. There is, of course, the option of playing this as Mage Gazlo or as a more melee-focused Bruiser Gazlo in that offlane. It's a very flexible hero and just a solid first pickup if your team that has that level of flexibility.
Does offer a lot of combo on the point as well. Maybe looking to set up some of those wombo combos or deny a little bit of point control, but it looks like Valgamer is going to go for that Johanna, and Madathi is going to snatch up that Brightwing. Does allow a lot of rotation and then a lot of double soaking in the form of your support. Long fights, especially like those on the point, is where Brightwing really shines.
Very much so. Brightwing, of course, does not offer the same kind of instant save tool that a Cleanse or another tool such as a Leap of Faith from the banned Anduin could do against a Gazlo if they go wombo build. So there is that flexibility that they have lost there, but instead they have Johanna to hold down the front line, can blind a melee Gazlo, or can just use the Unstoppable to try and zone follow-up onto a wombo Gazlo, as Rhaegar Tassadar comes in for Clouded Minds After Dark, a almost certainly bloodlust compositions because Rhaegar is very out the meta these days.
I don't hate it. We always joke about how Rhaegar isn't a very good healer, and You know, most of the time he's not, and I say that with love. I used to be a big Rhaegar main back in the day, but Rhaegar really can struggle. That Bloodlust, however, I think it's a smart pick to pick up after, you know, CCS has already kind of revealed their hand in the form of that Brightwing. Brightwing really can't shut down the Bloodlust, save an Emerald win. So I like picking that up into the Brightwing.
Couldn't agree more there. Has a great amount of potential value here, which might lead Brightwing into maybe going Emerald Wind. It's actually a really solid counter to Bloodlust compositions. The biggest counters to Bloodlust compositions are hard disengage. So this is Mighty Gust, this is your Flaming Swipes, this is usually traditionally stay on and listen. Emerald Wind could be a tool they could utilize here, but they do now have a little bit of a squishy hero in the form of Jada, who might be more in need of that Blink heal style. But so far, Jada, a great follow-up to Johanna, could get some great value here, and that is a chunky front line with Deathwing main tank coming in, and second Bruiser, Thrall, melee, so there's either Mage Gazlo or melee Assassin Thrall, or both. Either way, there is a lot of potential damage hidden away, locked within the composition of Cloud & Mine's After Dark.
You're going to see a little bit of a bite back as Selma here is going to round it out with the Phoenix. Now remember, there was recently a change to Planet Cracker. It does a lot more damage and is a lot bigger, especially at level 20. It's a big old boy now. So Phoenix also does have a little bit of percentage damage later on. I think overall that is a really solid pickup for both teams here as far as draft goes.
It's a solid finish, that Phoenix. The potential percentage damage at later on to help deal with the Deathwings and a very mobile auto attacker, so can try and avoid Deathwings engage. So that's always welcome. I really wish this is a Planet Cracker. I think it's more likely to be a salvo this game because we have Johanna and Jaina both with insane amounts of slows, and that purification salvo is going to really punish Rhaegar, who has some spread healing, but it's very limited. So being able to just drop those slows, those disengages, and then just try and wipe the team before Rhaegar has the chance to heal could be what they need. If not, then condemn Planet Cracker. if they build Jada 100% roots with Ring of Frost and the Northern Exposure?
That's correct, yeah.
Nice, the Northern Exposure later on. They could absolutely wombo that, and it would be very fun.
We'll have to see as we get headed into game number 1, our best of 3 series. Looks like the teams aren't in. Oh, there we go. Are in right now. So I am going to hop onto Tetcher and make sure I'm on. There we go. Your viewing, and then we'll get that drink after this game. Wasn't able to get through to that. So, yeah, we'll get that right after track 6. I promise we'll head in to game number 1 as my stuff doesn't seem to want to work. Did I turn the numlock off? There we go. Alrighty. Over on the left-hand side, we have Madathi on the Brightwing. Silma is going to be your Phoenix. Kelladorn on the Jaina. Osprey on the Diva. And Valkymer will be your Johanna. This is Can't Counterpick Stupid.
And on the right-hand side, seeing what kind of counterpicks they could come up with and try to be saucy while they do it. It is Clouded Minds After Dark. With Skycake 420 on the Thrall, Vince Noir on Tassadar. Weenus is going to be playing that Gazlo. Special Chai on the Deathwing, and Zamara will be on that Rhaegar. Let's see what they can do, as they already put on a little bit of pressure, but look at Silma already on the outside, making the most of that Phoenix mobility, and starting off with a mobile offense. So just stay mobile and just keep lasting that Deathwing.
Right now, Clouded Minds, no, the biggest thing they can do right here is they have the wave clear advantage with the Deathwing. That Molten Breath just tears through the wave. They don't necessarily have the team fight advantage, as Deathwing takes a little while to get on, Tassadar takes a little while to get on. In fact, most of these heroes will scale into the late game, so they're just going to back out and try to soak. Meanwhile, down on the bottom, it's our coolest and most attractive players, our off lanes, and Skycake and Osprey. They sacrifice their screen time so that we can have XP. And currently, Osprey is having a hard time into this Thrall.
Yeah, I wanted to keep with your tradition by jumping down here immediately to have a look at our coolest and most attractive players, but also talk about this Thrall level 1. Going instead of the sustain offlane talent, he's gone for that Rolling Thunder to make sure that he has the most efficient lane versus this D.Va, where that percentage damage will absolutely let him outlane D.Va by bullying her around and getting his own sustain off of the minion wave using his Frostwolf Resilience.
So it's funny because I know people are so sick of every time we see these heroes asking the questions I was going to ask. Is this a Crash Lightning Thrall? But it is going to be the off-lane Thrall with the tank Deathwing coming out here. And as such, you typically want to go the good build when doing that, as we always joke. There's a reason it's called Trash Lightning. So Rolling Thunder, as you said, Mana Tide going to come in here as well, as both teams are hitting at level 4. And it's currently just a little bit of a lull. The camps have been picked up, both of them for the side of Clouded Mines After Dark here currently. They have their own siege camp. Special Chai getting very low on that Deathwing, has opted for our standard build so far with that Molten Blood at Wood and then the Infernus at level 4. But they're just going to try and look to push in with this siege camp.
We also, it's worth mentioning the fact that Weedus is going for mage-style Gazlo. We can obviously see that with Thrall being in the bottom lane, but it gives them percentage damage, it gives them a lot of zoning, and great potential late game for the potential wombo combo with that potential for those triple bombs, which is insane when it comes to zoning maps, which this map most certainly is. They've given themselves a lot of flexibility here. Rhaegar, Zamara here, kind of showing that this might not be a Bloodlust game. It obviously would not affect Deathwing if they did, but this Lightning Shield build is usually more indicative of an Ancestral healing game, where you just try to keep your team alive with that little bit of percentage health shielding before dropping the Ancestral. Instead, otherwise we would normally see a totem style for extra slows and assistance in a team, which lets you build into the cooldown reduction for Rhaegar's healing on level 4, because you make up the healing that way that you would lose out with Bloodlust.
Makes a lot of sense. We'll have to see a lot of potential in both of these teams. Level 7 comes online. Gonna see that can't get cleared out in the top from CCS. And taking a look at these builds here currently, we have the pro moves from D.Va going for the movement speed as opposed to any of those healing talents at level 1. We have the Hit for Nitrous, this is pretty standard, getting that 0.5 second stun in the first 0.5 seconds of the boosters. Phoenix going for that full mobile offense build with the target acquired and the divert power. Interesting coming out of there. We're going to see D.Va drop her mech fairly early there to get an early start for the members of CCS, who did allow 93% to go over to Clouded Mines, but are now backing up. Big thing to remember about this objective is it doesn't matter if you end 99 to 99. If you can get that extra 1%, then you're the winner. So it's okay to give a little bit of leeway over to your enemy.
Divert power, very good in terms of actual just insane damage output. It's not the reset build, which I believe is what you're referring to there, which is just insane if you are trying to murder the backline. But in this case, Silver is going to be staying in their own team's backline as opposed to diving the enemies. Root onto D.Va as they push forward. The Condemn from Wagner was good. That's a good multi-breath though, splitting the team in two as the healing pulse was dropped and killed very quickly by CM After Dark as Cataclysm comes in.
Osprey gonna get very low, has to buck out into that pilot D.Va form. Brightway and Johanna and the mech going to go down. Keladorn very low in that back line. They back away with Silma, and that is going to be that first objective going over to the side of Clouded Mines here. Osprey, though, immediately back in the bottom, trying to get that mech back. Skycake, though, already rotating up to the top, trying to grab the soak. These teams are just so incredibly on top of what they need to do as we get very close to level 10 here for Clouded Mines After Dark.
Going to be some very interesting level 10s to see. Where does Thrall go? Does he go Disruption? Do they go for a little bit of extra burst or that extra protection from Earthquake as we hit level 10? It is going to be the Burn Beneath My Shadow for Deathwing. They believe they can maybe get a 4 very quickly and get that reset as it's currently still on cooldown. It is going to be Ancestral Healing as we predicted. Earthquake, Black Hole, and that's got to be a Grabo Bomb. If you're going Black Hole, you got to commit double. Let's do it, I believe.
Maybe. Win is holding it for just the right time. We saw all of these objectives. There it is. Objective going to take the front wall and all of these lanes here on the top and bottom. They managed to grab that well up top, now just using a little bit of extras they have. CCS has their own level 10s up as well. Blessed Shield going to come out right there. Special Chai getting very low. Earthquake will come out. Definitely going to be the first to go down. They did drop the Black Hole. Jaina and Phoenix so immediately blasted. So many heroic abilities are coming out. So Burn Beneath My Shadow, the only heroic left on the side of Clouded Minds. Madathi is running for their life. The slowing totem just to try and stop them. Everybody gonna get out. As a result, though, this is the first fort going over to Clouded Minds.
Fantastic wombo. The Earthquake to set up into the Black Hole Gravo Bomb combo. Followed up by a 3-man root, by the way, from Skycake to set that up into a multi-man kill. And with that Clouded Minds after dark, 6 kills to 1 in their favor. They've taken down the first 4. If Deathwing didn't have his cooldown back already, they have it back now. Special Chai is going to get a little bullied in the bottom lane. Needs Gazmore Thrall to take over from them as soon as possible, but they get the experience while the team gets the cap.
Currently in that World Breaker mode, having to get in nice and close to Osprey, which can be a little bit damaging. We're going to see the invade come in. Out comes the Grabo Bomb and that Black Hole. The Burn Beneath My Shadow as well is devastating the team. Caledorn going to go down on that Jaina. Osprey gets back in the mech. A little bit of damage from that Diva Bomb, but the members are more than happy to take it as Rhaegar heals them all back up. We did see a turret drop over on the side of Clouded Minds. So still up 2-0 on those objectives. They found the kill. Looking pretty happy right now if I'm the guys in red.
Can't counterpick Stupid. They've got to stop engaging into these big choke points. They are grouped up and they're getting caught. The first fight was not so much their fault, but that second one was a risky play. They tried to bless shield engage. They got the stun, but they didn't have the damage in position to follow up, and they immediately got turned on. That's what Gaslow and Tassadar do so insanely well. They've got to be more careful about how they're grouping if they intend to make plays like that.
Hopefully they've learned their lesson and they can continue on through here. They've managed to just rotate around. They have to find those level 13s. So went up, grabbed the top camp. I think that's a smart idea. They see there's a big push going on in the bottom, and so the appropriate response is to just try and counter push in the other lanes, try and equalize those out, making sure that it's only one lane that's pushing against you as opposed to all 3. The camp will be cleared out, but they've managed to kind of reset the map. They're down the talent, but I think that's okay. Next control point will unlock in 20 seconds here. They don't have their well, but they still have their fort. Plenty of chances to fight and turn this around.
No camp available for counterpick Stupid here, so this will be uncontested from Clouded Minds after dark until counterpick Stupid can step up and go for the defense. Special Chai barely keeps their shield alive. It's still there. Finally, it's going to drop one of those armor plates. They try to bully onto Osprey, pops the mech. How aggressive is Special Chai going to go here? You can see actually some hesitation in the mid lane. Do we come down and help? But inside against it, they're just going to keep getting XP. They're level 13 to 13. They're prepared to go in and potentially duel CM after dark.
One of the hard things about Diva in a Deathwing is when she pops into that pilot form, she's so much faster than the big dragon. She's so quick. And especially, I'll take a look here as level 13 has been hit. Is she going to go for that? No, does not go for the good to go. Instead goes for the target lock. So enemy heroes remain in your defense matrix, have their armor reduced and their movement speed reduced. So armor reduction will affect Deathwing. That is a really devastating way to try and deal with Deathwing, as his health has been nerfed so much. Without the armor, he really doesn't have a whole lot to contribute in terms of a health bar if you're able to chunk that away. And the movement speed, of course, the members of Clouded Minds are really immobile, so maybe looking to turn it around with that target locked.
Yeah, it's really smart. Wombos with what they got. Again, they're very based around that Purification Salvo as a combo. So having that extra slow could really help them out here. Protector, though, grabbed uncontested completely for Clouded Minds after dark, but it is kind of running very far ahead of the rest of the team. Phoenix, though, able to tank quite a lot of that damage. You can see it's dropped to half health, but ate a lot of that damage due to their level 13, the new and improved, recently buffed Dampening Field. Getting some of that spell armor. Special Chai getting bullied, gonna catch them. They know they're about to get bot back. Keep the Deathwing safe.
They'll
they
have
might
it
even get it.
in a moment, maybe. That's why I was using it, because they thought they'd have it back relatively quickly, but now they may have to wait the full duration. Molten Breath to help the Protector get out here. Protector's so hard to fight in a team fight with just because it is so slow and it doesn't necessarily contribute a lot. In the meantime, though, Skycake is just going to continue to poke away at this top keep. And so overall, still a favorable trade for the members of Cloud Mines After Dark. They haven't gotten this fort yet, but they did get the top fort. Well, they're going to get it now. That's the back for Deathwing with the Cataclysm going to go in. Big stun coming out. Graviton Surge is good. Ancestral even better, though. Tassadar and Jaina traded out 1-for-1. Valkymer very low. It's just Brightwing and Madathi. Silma will be able to escape, moving closely with that divert power. No stuns coming out. Clouded Minds continuing to take hold of this game.
They won the fight, traded 1-for-1. Mech gets killed by Skycake, who still wins that fight even more now, and also wrecks buildings with this level 16 Tempest Fury. Those 3 hits of that last Wind Rush style really gives you a lot of extra burst and great building killing potential. But nicely done. Silver did escape, like you said. They were trying to cause pressure on the backline, stayed mobile, targets acquired, and did escape. They have now hit level 16, and their keeps are fine. The next objective is one of the most important ones of the game, obviously, where they can try and set up and try and go for a keep. Their Cloud Mines After Dark, and it's late enough in the game where Soul could counterpick Stupid. If they win the next objective, they could probably take a keep. They just need to make sure they stay even. There's 2 levels to go before Cloud Mines After Dark get 20.
The hard thing about this game is just, no matter how well you're doing early on with as far as Volskaya Foundry goes, you can win one team fight in the late game and you just end up winning. We're taking a look at the level 16 picked up here by Silma on that Phoenix. The offensive cadence, every third basic attack against a hero while Repeater Cannon is active deals 6% to their maximum health.
That's big.
That's a big, big front line on the side of Clouded Minds, Deathwing especially, but Thrall, Rhaegar, Gazlowe, they're all melee heroes. They have to get in deep, and if Selma's able to stay safe in the backline behind Johanna, that can really make Clouded Minds stay hard.
That could really help them with what they've been struggling with, that is killing that Deathwing quicker to stop them just cataclysming away. We also have the Critterize for the Brightwing. No Unstable Anomaly to combo with it, but that's still going to help them with more burst than anyone who isn't Deathwing. And Diva womboing with that target locked again, all for setting up that Purification Salvo from Phoenix, has gone for the Divert Power. Gives Diva a little bit more sustain, but more importantly increases the area of defense matrix so that she can get more slows, comboing it with that target locked at level 13 to set up that Purification Salvo.
Right now, it's all about staying safe and waiting for this objective, which will be online in just a moment. Gonna be a hard time for CCS. They don't have they don't have that well down there, definitely, but they don't have the fort either. So they're just going to try and equalize these lanes a little bit. They may have to understand, okay, we have to back out a little bit earlier. We have to find some wave priority before we go in, but it still can be done, especially now that they have these later talents.
They really need to race for 20 though, because 20 is just around the corner for Cloud Mines After Dark, meaning they're of course going to set up on the objective as early as possible and begin getting some of that channel. Deathwing currently guaranteeing that 20 in the top lane, and because of that global, combined with the level 7 Firestorm for the cooldown reduction on the fly, means that they have a lot more map pressure and they're always more prepared. And now, can't counterpick Stupid. They have decided that they can't afford to wait. They can't afford to wait. They know where Deathwing is, so they'll take at least a moment to step up and try and find a kill and try and stop this percentage going over. But second Deathwing arrives. It's going to be level 20. Blast Shield onto Zimara. Zimara's taken out. Black Hole, though, at the Cataclysm. It's a huge triple kill.
Ooh, make it a Quadras. Brightwing is the next to go down. Caledorn running for their life. Deathwing going to slow them. They try to drop the Blizzard, but Skycake is too quick. Now you can see Clouded Minds, who've taken full control of this game, are going to look for this keep before hopping onto that Protector. They know it doesn't necessarily give them as much of a push, so just going to continue to harass this keep here. Great engage by the members of Can't Counterpick Stupid. Fortunately for them, though, the Earthquake really shuts down everything they want to do when they run in there. It was a great Blessed Shield, really great follow-up. In the end, just wasn't enough to keep everybody alive.
earthen shields, 15% maximum health shield on each tick of that Earthquake from Skycake, keeping the team alive, like you said, and the insane wombo combo, Kugel Blitz, 20 armor reduction and Psy Storms on every point. Miniature Black Hole, that extra radius to guarantee the Grabber Bomb from Gazmo. Here's Cataclysm one more time. They've reset it on the keep. Grabber Bomb to finish them off one more time. Valkymer will survive this time, but the core is going down, Jinxeekatt.
Game number 1 going over to Clouded Minds after dark. GG. Solid engage comp. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, picking the Deathwing late. So very smart by the side of Clouded Minds. Just knowing that, you know, once your opponent shows their hand in their DPS, it can be so hard, even with the percentage damage, to kill Deathwing.
Absolutely insane there. And it all came down to the fact that Clouded Minds knew they could do this because of the very early show of the double front line. This is why you will usually see an offlaner, but actually left until later by a lot of teams if you don't pick it in the first rotation. That Diva being picked up, it's a safe offlaner all the time, but now their crowd control, their hard engage is Johanna, and that's about it. Jada, if she could get close enough. But they 100% limited themselves there to only Johanna engage, meaning if they did not kill people off that Johanna, then there wasn't enough crowd control to stop Clouded Minds turning round and getting their full wombo combo to turn most of those fights. Because the fact is, Clouded Minds didn't really engage in almost any of the fights they were in. They just turned around after they weren't killed quick enough.
It was a really solid play there, especially 13 and 16. That Deathwing gets really spicy. Getting that conflagration really does work. And then, of course, as you mentioned, the level 20 Earthen Shields coming out. You can see here 3 to 15 as we take a look at these talents, take a look at some of these stats. Very well done. All right, Tetcher, you entertain the chat. I'm going to go grab a drink.
You go grab your drink because we have to hydrate. So, yeah. Overall, builds-wise, pretty normal from the side of everyone here. We do see a lot of thralls these days, mixing it up by not going with that spell shield later on, or similar stuff to that, and still going for that zap to try and poke from range. But that was never the strategy of Clouded Minds After Dark here. They had no intention of poking people with thrall. This is Skycake getting stuck in, getting involved, and just being a problem for the members of Can't Counterpick Stupid. And in terms of damage, they did a pretty good job there. 26k. So we see 26k coming in, which beats out a lot of the heroes in the game. Like, it was obviously behind Gazlo and Tassadar, who have huge AoE, but it beat Phoenix and it beat Jaina because Throb was just stuck in there eating heroes in those longer fights by getting that extra sustain from the level 13. Very smart style, and a really cool idea of running the throw with this. It's a bit vulnerable to the burst, but it was so much extra damage on that front line and onto anyone who decided to step up more than a little bit, giving them the time to drop that slow and get involved in the fight. It was a really smart pick. Welcome back. The next map has been DM'd to me. I don't know if it was DM'd to you.
Why don't we take a look? And while we're doing that, I'm going to bring you over to our map and score screen where I did update it. So if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for stopping in. I'm Jinxeekatt. With me is the love of my life, Tetcher. Tonight we have C West for you in the members of Can't Counterpick Stupid, the original CCS versus Clouded Minds After Dark. Our first match of the evening was on Volskaya Foundry, which was picked by Can't Counterpick Stupid and won by Clouded Minds. It looks like game number 2 is going to be on Alterac Pass, which was picked by Clouded Minds.
Hell yeah. Alterac Pass, another large map, but the one that still forces fights. Very interesting here. Gives you the option to try and macro the map a little bit, as we saw Clouded Minds After Dark doing very effectively by just having 3 bruisers who could always offlane, basically, and then being able to take those bigger fights on the objective. What was that, sorry?
I said just meatball, run it down.
Exactly. Just go. Just deathwing. Win.
Just deathwing and win for head easy. Why don't you do that every game?
Valkymer giving the respect where it is due in the chat, saying nice wombos, well deserved call out there, because woo, those were some spicy wombo combos.
Yeah, They, like you said, they never had to engage. They just had to re-engage. They knew exactly what they had and how to play it. Just before game number 1, we had Track 6 redeem, take a drink. So cheers to you, Track 6. Thank you very, very much.
I joined in with my flavored water.
As I spill it all down the front of me, hopefully nobody
Oh, no.
saw that. We are all ready to go here in just a minute. All right, Osprey
Feels
saying,
good.
so let's not do that again, okay?
What, there's quite a few great heroes death call outs where they come back and just like, all right, let's try that again. It's one of my favorites from Uther. There's some others, but I can't remember what they are.
My favorite one of all time, because it's just the mood, is when everybody dies. Malfurion is like, excuse me while I take a nap. I'm like, actually, me, when you're losing, and I'm just, you just.
Oh dear. I mean, Zul's death thing is my favorite, where he respawns and he's like, so that is what death feels like. I miss it already. I'm like, all right, go feed, mate. Do what you want. Live like the majority of Zuls.
Sometimes you gotta run it down.
Sometimes, especially a Zul.
It can be a little hard on Zul, so we like to give our Zul mains a little bit of a break, because he's a character who can't 1v1, but it can absolutely 1v5, and there aren't a whole lot of heroes that are quite like that. So, you know, sometimes you know, you get like a really big team fight. You're like, all right, I can do this easily, and then the next lane you're getting bodied by a Sonya.
Yeah, there's one situation where he 1v1s, and that's with like Q build and the percentage damage shield at level 1. In which case you're no longer a 1v5 hero either, and he has no mobility, just at all. His escape is, I root one of you and hope the rest miss.
Yeah. You know, it's tough sometimes. It looks like we are ready to get going. And now, as we're looking at Alterac Pass, I actually recently, like last week was the last time that I got to cast Alterac Pass. Now, first and foremost, Rackham is asking, you know, is there anything that you would respect ban for the members of Clouded Minds? My second question, because you know what this is, the chat doesn't because it's a secret. But will we see anything similar, do you think, Tetcher, to Gibbs' super secret, super fun, run it down, easy win comp?
Potentially, for the sake of chat, without saying what that is, because you've made it very hard for me to talk around this. Macro style is very important on this map. Is about as much as I can say without giving anything away with how you've set that up. Macro style is very important on this map because getting control of the off lanes to set up for bosses later on, and the fact it's so hard to end the game without at least only one keep down, getting at least 2 is really, really helpful for that. So being able to control the map macro-wise is really important.
My question is, do you think either of these teams will run it down? I guess is the big thing. So you can't go any of those heroes because, of course, there's a reason it gives us super secret, super fun, run it down, easy whip comp. But right out the gate, we're going to see a respect ban onto that Gazlo.
The Gazlo is a very sensible one. He has great point control here and a very reasonable push style, so it works out quite nicely to get him out of here. And the Gibbs composition, yeah, I don't think we'll see the Nova Murky composition where they just rotate with 2 heroes and kill everyone. Oh no, I've given it away.
Gosh darn it, you've told all of our strategies.
Curses. No.
Oh no.
All right, Gareth did that again. The focus ban onto Valkyma for good reason. And ETC shall be removed for the 2nd time. Another great wombo hero. It was banned last time, just being sensible by CCS to just make sure they remove at least some of the scarier tools.
Makes sense here. For your entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary friends in chat, I started a prediction, so who do you think will win? Game number 2, is it going to be CCS or is it going to be Clouded Minds? As Lunara is going to be banned out. Literally zero thought given to some, I shouldn't say zero thought, but Consideration potentially there for some of those meta picks, going more for the respect bans, though. I know Osprey plays an absolutely devastating Lunara, especially in the offlane. It can just be super frustrating to play against if you're not used to that matchup. So it makes sense to get rid of it here, where you can see some unusual offlaners. Our first hero, though, is going to be Stukov for Madathi, and I like it.
It's got a little bit more burst healing than the Brightwing. It's a very safe early pick. You can't really go wrong with a Stukov comp. The issue with the Stukov comp is it does not have cleanse, so a big heavy AoE CC until level 16 can absolutely dunk on them. But with Stukov, you do open yourself up to double support. You can run a Uther with this and give yourself a very much easier time that way as a main tank Uther or just a second support Uther. On the other side, CM After Dark, they're starting pretty standard so far with Sonya and Tassadar.
Vince Noir once again going to be on that Tassadar special tie this time, showing their offlane early, which sometimes, works out. You want that really strong offlane that can do a lot, like the Sonya, but other times it does allow you open to counter. Now, if you know what a Sonya counter is, you let me know. But there it is, potentially. Yeah. Ragnaros is a huge pain in the butt, and Valkymer going with the recently changed Muradin.
Rag loses in a 1v1 versus Sonya, but he does not lose the lane to Sonya, and this is where the power of the Ragnaros can come in here. Gives them a lot of options. In terms of Sonya counters, by the way, ranged heroes like Zagara and Falstad could give Sonya a very rough time. Rexar is a fantastic counter to Sonya, where you literally just wait until she spins and then drop the bear stun on her every single time. Go with the cooldown reduction, you out-heal her with your auto attacks, just bullying her by removing her sustain, and even Slam build Sonya will not be able to sustain against it. And Malthael, if you can play well enough around the minion wave, will actually bully out a Sonya with the Dire Low.
For sure. We'll have to see how it's going to play. If any of those newly changed heroes are going to come out, Malfurion, Falstad is still available. Ooh. Always great on the map. I'm seeing here, Gibbs saying, yeah, y'all complain about it the whole time, but it works. And I guess the official comp name is Tilted Dumb Comps Gibbs made. So, nice. Looking at the predictions here, there are a lot of CCS fans in chat saying that CCS is going to take this back. We'll have to see if Hagar Rhaegar picked up for Venus and Zamira coming in here.
So this could be a main tank Hogger, or if we want to go a bit more Wild Heart style, this could be a main tank Sonya. But either way, the potential is there, or just a triple bruiser composition. Now, last time it worked really well for them. This time, I don't think I would like them to go triple bruiser because they don't actually have a hard enough engage, and Tassadar isn't a hard enough hyper carry. Sonya makes up a lot of damage, and so does Hogger, but I would be concerned about their DPS output. This is what we're looking for. Can't counterpick stupid. They see multiple bruisers, so they pick lots of ranged heroes with heavy push. Rag for macro, Asmodan and Falstad both for pushing. They now have full control of the map, with CM After Dark only having one pick left, likely it being a ranged hero, and that really limits them in anything that could counteract this.
Super solid plays. I really like the heroes coming out from the side of CCS. Skycake once again gonna go with the Thrall, and it looks like they're gonna try to, if it's not broke, don't fix it, run it down. It does potentially mean, as you said, tank Hogger, tank Sonya, tank Thrall if you're feeling super spicy here. Just another come in and run it back comp. Now, I think that this will work well on the points. I'm concerned for Clouded Minds literally everywhere else, just because the fact is, Falstad, Asmodan, Ragnaros, they don't care what you're doing. Ragnaros can soak any lane with the lava wave. Asmodan can just run it down and take your forts with their heroic abilities. Falstad could be anywhere on the map. I think this will be a little bit harder for Clouded Minds to do the same thing back. Now there's so much more map pressure from CCS.
Yeah, Clouded Minds have, once again, 3 people who can control a lane, which is going to give them a lot of extra sustain. The problem is they're all going to be outranged. They're going to have to actually really try hard to win these 1v1s. Clouded Mind, after Dark's win condition, instead now comes from forcing fights. If they can bait can't counterpick stupid into these objective fights, then that's their win condition. And their other win condition is camp clear. Just spam those camps, yours and your opponents. Just force them to fight you on their own camp and just yeet mid lane. And eventually you might have a chance just to end with the camps.
We'll have to see it which strategy is better here as we get started with game number 2 in our best of 3 series. I have to remember that 0-0 are not the same key. As we head in to, again, to game number 2. Over here on the left-hand side, it is can't counterpick stupid with Medaddy on that. Madathi on that Stukov. Silma is going to be your Falstad. Kelladorn on that Asmodan. We're going to see Osprey on the Ragnaros and Falcomer on the Muradin. Oh no.
Medaddy.
Medaddy, you know. Medaddy. I mean, depending on how he goes, you know, we could totally see him just daddy up this lane, and they're gonna go spicy. Try and cheese a top lane here.
Very true. They're going to try and snipe a tower or a fountain. The fountain is going to be the play here. Very saucy. There are some talents I want to talk about here, but we'll talk about them after this. This will die. Team will leave. And they should all get out of here alive, as we do see Clouded Minds After Dark rotating in to an already dead fountain. Vince Noir on the Tassadar, Skycake on the Thrall. We're going to have Zamara playing once again that Rhaegar, Sonya being played by Special Chai, and Weenus is going to be Hogger, currently in the bot lane getting shot at by Falstad.
Now, it's going to be a little bit of a tougher lane for Weenus. He's gone for that quest at level 1, was recently buffed. That Journeyman cooking, so hitting folks with the dynamite will heal him for 8%, keeping Hogger super tanky, extra alive in these team fights. Special Chai going to rotate down. You can see Soma already taking a big chunk of that health bar without taking any damage back.
Very much so, and you can actually just see this. Clouded Mind After Darks, their health bars are already looking at significantly lower than anyone on the side of Can't Counterpick Stupid, as they will back up a bit here. We got some bits.
Oh, yeah, you know, thanks, Lana. I appreciate that. Wow, thank you. We all need that image in our heads.
I argue that people may like it, but either way, we're going to talk about some of the talents here. We're going to see Asmodan. I want to call him Ragnaros there, but no, the other fiery one. We see Annihilation at level 1. Not going to go for the cooldown reduction. This is a more push-focused style here for the Asmodan. Here's the talent I'm a little bit iffy with. Good spear by Special Chai. Not going to turn into anything too much by the looks of it. And that is going to be Falstad's Gathering Storm. Fantastic versus triple frontline. He's going to stack that forever. My concern is we already mentioned a win condition for Clouded Minds After Dark is camp clear. So Bribe could have given them a lot of counteraction to that to deny value to Clouded Minds by either sneaking Falstad in or at least guaranteeing their own camp as a counter push, which would have allowed them a little bit more sustain that way.
Yeah, especially with the fact that these camps come up so very frequently, you definitely want to pick them up. So potentially looking to get a little bit more control in some of these team fights, maybe looking to fight around those objectives a little harder, trying to keep the members of Clouded Minds there while the rest of the team tries to poke it out in 2 different lanes. We'll have to see. Bribe could have been very good, but I can definitely see the value in that level 1 there from Falstad. Also, it's new, and we gotta showcase the new talent.
Exactly. It's gonna be insane if they team fight. And we've already discussed that team fights are where Clouded Minds After Dark are gonna have the best chance here. So it's a risky style, but it does hedge their bets a bit.
Only time will tell as the objective has come up. Just trying to fix the OBS here right now. My apologies, everybody. So if you're getting motion sickness, I apologize here. But it looks like currently nobody really too keen on grabbing that objective just yet, which is pretty standard. I want to take a look at the predictions here. And miraculously, it actually changed later on. 77% saying that Clouded Minds are going to win out in game number 2. So will it be a 2-game domination, or are we going to have a best of 3 on our hands here? Only time will tell, as neither team really there we go. Finally getting ready for that objective.
Root comes out. Easy kill from Clouded Minds. Fantastic root by Skycake. Wiener setting up the trash heap and able to go in deep for the kill with that Hog Wild. Exactly what CM After Dark want to be doing. And can't counterpick stupid. They're going to try and start to macro and start to deal with this, but immediately, with the man advantage, CM After Dark head back to lanes. This is what they need to keep doing. They want to force fights. They want to force Can't Counterpick Stupid to take these fights where CM will have the advantage, and then the quicker they do that, the quicker they get back to lanes and deny value.
Objective will go over to Clouded Minds. Caledorn, though, getting quite a bit of damage down here in the bottom. Special Chai will have to tap and come back in. They will have a little bit of extra time to push with that objective coming up. Sonya finally has to soak out. Caledorn really not even paying attention to Special Chai. So we're going to head here to the mid lane. And chat has informed us that Bribe is in fact gone, which makes sense as to why it was not picked, as it no longer exists. No, I thought there was as well, but it turns out no, it's just dishonorable discharge at level 1, which is what Falstad has gone, sitting at 24 stacks there. So, yeah, I learned. Thank you, Chad. The patch came out 2 days ago, so we're still trying to make sure that we're all up to date on the quests and whatnot.
Yeah, no, it's just damaged. Yeah, it's just damage now. No, my bad. I thought it still had a bribe element. That is 100% my mistake. This is, in that case, that is 100% the best pick. Good job, good job, Silver. This is going to be absolutely fantastic if they take team fights, which they should, in theory, be trying to avoid. But for now, good wave clear. The macro of Can't Counterpick Stupid is showing so hard here. They just destroyed those cavalry. Let's check this out. One tower somehow lived, but basically the front wall. The gate and basically 2 towers. Also, we might have arrived at the right time. Nope. Osprey will live. And bot lane, the front wall. That's it for the first cavalry wave. Very nicely done by CCS to hold that nice. As we see level 10 abilities for both teams now, it is full main tank Hogger with that shockwave.
For the Lich King.
Usually we're not seeing that shockwave. I actually haven't seen that main tank Hogger played yet. Usually, we'll see the Hortipult to get in to go on that back line. But they really want to solve these team fights to try and zone everybody away. We're going to see that Lava Wave come down in the bottom here. Thank you very much for the follow, and I apologize, guys, if you keep seeing the tab screen on. We're going to see a big team fight come out as Leap comes down onto Caledor, and Silva, though, going to use that Gust, try and buy time, but only buying time for the inevitable, as Caledor will fall here. And yeah, big apologies, guys. Sometimes the tab screen, whenever I try to show talent or damage or whatever, it's just like, hello, I am here too, in case you weren't aware of who is in the game. So sorry, friends. It's not always like this, I promise, but very low kill game so far. 2 kills going over to Clouded Minds. The big thing I want to talk about is the fact that in the time it took us to say, wow, Bribe doesn't exist anymore, all of those cavalry members were cleared out by CCS. And they did get a couple of walls here, but honestly, nothing majorly more than CCS have gotten just their constant push heroes.
Yeah, that was, like we've just mentioned, it was really insane D-push, and they just sent Asmodan, who did die during his little stealth mission, to try and demonic invasion bot lane, which is really smart. Just try and wreck a boss lane as fast as possible, and just try and keep the pressure on that way. And as such, they've actually done more damage to a Forge than anything that CM have done so far, which is going to keep them in a great position to try and make a comeback. Camp is being taken in mirror by CCS right now, but they are gonna need help. And again, they should probably just avoid these fights. They can't really afford to take the risk, and they might as well just keep doing this and causing difficulty for CM elsewhere and out-macroing that way, making the most of their D-push. And CM, they need to react to that by grouping as 5 and just pushing it low.
Looks like that's what they're gonna do right here. Nobody is jumping on that objective quite yet. So keeping your eye on it, Soma will try to come back in and get This middle fort is going to be under a lot of pressure, but the minion wave does die off. Ragnaros going to drop Lava Wave in the bottom. Caledorn, once again, just harassing out, has gotten even more damage than the members of Clouded Minds After Dark. This is going to be another objective going over to them, but I don't know how much this is really going to do for them, Tetcher. They really need to push hard, and it's going to be hard with all of these lanes pushing in favor of CCS.
CM have a very slight XP lead due to what they've been able to get so far, but they are starting to have a little bit of a rough time. Asmo is still stacking. He's de-pushing by himself. We will probably see Rag head down to one of the... We'll stay in the lane where there is the big push. It'll actually be this one. We'll see Motion Core getting activated to try and help to clear. Valstad's in bot lane. He has the range advantage over Sonya, and this is exactly what they need to do. CCS are playing this really, really well right now.
Molten Core is going to expire. This fort should go down. Valkymer will have to pop the Avatar. Massive swipe is going to shoo everybody away. They're going to see that Black Hole come out and actually not going to connect onto anybody there. The wall will shut off Valkymer and Osprey from going in. Two forts have been taken out as the advantage does go over for the moment to CM After Dark, but you know, if I'm Clouded Minds, I don't necessarily feel like I'm winning right now. Zasman is going to skirt away, taking that top fort. And it just gets out. Nobody even notices him. Big, thick boy just rotating around. No one sees him.
Overall, that was a very solid defense. It was nicely done, but we are starting to see the power of the attrition of the objective starting to work its magic on CCS here. With the core, with two forts being taken out in exchange for one here, this is going to struggle. We can see CM After Dark. They're finding value elsewhere. They know that they're just going to keep getting out macro, so they've got to take big objectives. Their opponents will avoid a team fight, so they might as well get everything. Leap has to be burned as an escape tool by Special Chai, but they do get a boss for it. Problem is, Asmo and Falstad are here, two of their best boss clearers, and there's a counter boss in bot lane.
Lots of work going in here. Madathi and Osprey, though. These aren't two heroes I think of in terms of solo boss clear, but you know, it's working. Osprey has no mana, so that is just those Ragnaros auto attacks with the Sulfuras there. But it's all about the push currently for Clouded Minds. You can see Hogger did jump back to get that objective. They have no idea that this boss is being taken. They will lose the top four, bringing them just to keep. The keeps are really all you need so far. Prisoners coming out here in just a minute, and now the members of Clouded Minds do have a little bit of touring themselves to take care of.
It's a slam build Sonya, though. They're going to wreck their way through this. Again, this is a maximum attack build, Hogger. This is a version of it, going for a bigger health pool as opposed to healing and sustain. So in this case, they're more than happy just to wreck their way through this using the bombs for zoning. The top four did live very barely, but CCS, they're still playing this game quite smart here, but CM After Dark, they're starting to gain quite a bit of momentum here. We're going to see a rush again, straight for the fort here. Just going to try and get their second fort off the game, which will even up the numbers. There's the Symbolic Invasion. This time, with enough heroes to come in for a hand, they won't get the gank, but Caledorn will likely live.
Nice flank swipe just to make sure everybody disengages. Fort goes down, and we're basically even up on structures here. Now, granted, there's a sneeze worth of health left up on that top lane. Objectives once again being ignored. Camp still potentially able to be picked up by CCS here, but I would say that they're behind currently. They're playing very smart. Osprey is going to get very, very low. Shockwave going to come out. The Mighty Gus will try to stall. That is going to be Osprey going down. Valkymer now running for their life despite that Avatar will go down. And this should be the objective, at least in its current state, going over to the members of Clouded Minds. They're playing very, very well, finding these picks. The team fight is still definitely in favor of the red team.
Yep, they just walked straight in, found the opponents, and were like, all right, well, we have 1,000,000 stuns, good luck. Even dropping a shockwave into knockback from Hogger without the percentage damage. Did not go for that big percentage damage on level 16. Instead went for Kablooey, getting a 50% more damage, reduced cooldown, and an increased slow from his easy throw dynamite. So Weenus going with even more siege, even more health increase. So far, 17 stacks, not the highest amount, but each one is 8% more health as a bot lane is potentially about to get cheeky yeeted as they might try and rush the keep.
Thick Madan gonna try and run it down. Demonic Invasion and Lava Wave keeping these lanes pushed. The slow war of attrition coming out here from a CCS, trying to play it slow. Objective does go over to the red team. There is a big defense that needs to happen on this middle keep. Remember, it is recommended that you get 2 keeps before trying to end here. That 40% armor on the core is still so very strong. We're gonna see one of these towers go down. Not the second quite yet. The objective is just now spawning. Middle lane in the biggest pressure here. The rest of the lane have been kind of equalized. Falcomer going to back out here. Ragnaros will get into that molten core. The objective not long for this world.
That will allow them to defend here. They also did a really good play with that Asmodan. Everyone was able to port back, and Sonya was left with the Mercenary, meaning she was not there for that mid push, but they don't get mid keep. Now it's going to be the 5-man push, but they've cleared enough that they can actually focus all 5 on this as well. CCS in position to try and zone here. They don't have multi-core though. The cavalry down to half health, pushing their way in. They drop the shockwave onto Valkymer, who's dropped low. Good Gus saves Valkymer here, and that should allow the key to give up. Never mind. Slam from Chai to get the kill.
Oh man, I want to ask Valkymer, what did you die to? Oh, it was a slam? Okay, Chai. Just bopping them out. 100 health left was not enough. Murden going in with the Avatar. They have that Skullcracker at level 7, so hopefully trying to find some of those mini stuns. Just the amount of stuns on the side of Clouded Minds, too much. You do have to burn the Ancestral Healing here. This keep is not long for this world. The run it down strategy not working as well as CCS would have hoped.
But as the spawn timers get longer, this will be more efficient for them. If they are able to find kills, their comp has the opportunity to end the game just as easily as CM's does, especially with bot lane being wounded. Like you said, it is more difficult to end without 2 keeps down, but it's not impossible, especially when you have an Asmodan on your team. You can absolutely try, as they will defend the camp. That's exactly what we said CM need to do, just bully all the camps, and they know where they stand. They immediately head up and try and get more value by starting a boss.
Rest of the members of CCS off to do their own chores there. Maybe look to take this bottom boss, who will be up in a couple of moments. That bottom keep still quite low. Asman does have Demonic Invasion up, but that is going to be the boss going down up in the top lane, so will have to be dealt with. Bottom boss is being baited currently as Asmodan is taking the fort, not opting for the keep here.
Yeah, he won't even finish the fort. They're not level 20 yet, so this will not be enough damage to finish this off. Makes his way back to the team. I think he was just a little scared of the keep, and we do have a quick pause.
Back to us. Oh, they paused right. Okay. All right, Valk dropped for a second, but he's back now. So they will be back in a second. So I apologize, you guys are going to hear all the sounds of a basketball game. You know, we can all close our eyes for a moment and imagine what it's like to not be in quarantine right now. Hear that? That's the sound of the crowd. That's the sound of going outside and interacting with other people.
What's that? Is that arguments over the design of a character in a basketball movie? Wow, no one cares. As we see everyone porting back to base, getting it just as far away from CM After Dark as possible. As Can't Pick Stupid make their way up to top lane to clear out this boss.
Be a little bit of a race for both the teams here. The biggest defense right now needs to come out from CCS. I accidentally just left it on us. Sorry, guys. You didn't miss anything except for them pushing a boss. There we go. I was looking at Casey's sweet message. Thank you, Fran. That's incredibly kind of you.
Thank you, buddy.
Roughly the same value coming out of these bosses here, which I think is a testament to CCS looking to get started on their own camp here. As we all know, the true boss is in the middle lane, so that middle fort was taken very low thanks to those demonic soldiers from Asmodan there, who looks like they didn't go for a level 20 upgrade on Demonic Invasion, went for Sin's Grasp, so it buff onto All Shall Burn, slowing heroes by 15%, and if it channels for the full duration or kills an enemy hero, its cooldown is reduced. The target is slowed. Lots of big damage coming out there from that All Shall Burn. So can they continue to just keep ratting it out?
There's too many team fight talents. I'm not sure about this. I think they're struggling. They show in bot lane, try to force the reaction and try and force Clouded Minds After Dark to react instead of going mid straight away. But it doesn't look very successful here. Clouded Minds After Dark, they're coming up, but they're being very patient. The objective did leash, So that is the advantage for them. They're just trying to bait them out here. Kelador just hanging out with Wieners there for a second. We've gone for that heroic difficulty for Ragnarok, so they could drop that here on the upper fort to try and siege in. Ancestral, burned by Zamira. They tried to go for a gank to 5v4, but they were unsuccessful. CCS unable to find the kill, and Valkyma dropped low.
Lots of big heroics used for Clouded Minds at this time. Black Hole, Ancestral Healing, and Shockwave are all going to be down for this push. And despite the objective continuously pummeling Can't Counterpick Stupid, they have a pretty great grasp of these lanes here. So if they can defend them in the mid, try not to die to the heroes, then they may be able to bring it back longer. You know, maybe trying to set up for one of those 25+ minute games if Clouded Minds can't get a couple of picks here. Otherwise, it's lights out for CCS.
They're trusting that 25% increased health and damage on heroic difficulty to try and tank this, but it's doing absolutely nothing.
What happened?
The Rag is going down. They don't have two lava waves, only a single lava wave here. The keep goes down. They try to turn onto Hogger. Hogwild is active. Special Chai. Leap for freedom. Barely gets out alive as Valkyma will drop. Down goes Rag, and that's the double kill with Cavalry on the core. We are seeing Clouded Minds after dark rolling in, bringing it home. A multi-man stun from Wieners to secure it, and they will end the game. GG. See him after dark. Takes the clean sweep.
Very well played by both the teams. It is going to be Clouded Minds who do take this afterwards. I think maybe just a little bit of uncertainty there for the members of Can't Counterpick Stupid. They were doing well with their split push, and they understood that, you know, maybe they needed a little bit more team fight, something to stall out these objectives while the rest of the team pushed. Went for kind of a hybrid build, and it just ended up being, you know, a good amount of both, but not what they needed to succeed. You see, just a totally clean, very nice sweep there from Clouded Minds. 0-7.
Yeah, very dominant game there. They had the much better team fight, and yet CCS, they didn't pick double lava wave. That could have given them the opportunity to try and clear out those lanes and buy some time. They tried that heroic difficulty, which I do like. It's a good talent, but they were running that. It's still technically Ragnaros. He is counted as a hero, meaning, guess what works on it? Giant Slammer and Thermal Lance. Both of them get percentage damage. 1.5 from Sonya, 8 from Tassadar, meaning that basically that Molten Core just kind of dies every time you activate it in this case. It was a good attempt, but they got caught out and trapped. If they'd maybe got Special Chai, it could have turned around, but CM After Dark were in so much control the second they were in the enemy base.
Very nicely done. Wieners, thank you for the 69 bits. Goodness gracious. Swing Time, thank you for the 69 bits. Wieners, gosh, goodness gracious, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you for the 69 bits. And then, oh, Rakama gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much. It was a great series. I look forward to doing another fun one just like this. Hopefully, you know, maybe we'll see both these teams back in the playoffs. I sure hope so, as we are going to update our score screen and then jump in with the winners of our series this evening, Clouded Minds.
Nice. So congratulations on your subs to DNasty10. Oh, I'm going to pronounce this one wrong. Zabikian?
This is the hour.
We'll go with that. Joe Zombie 93. Hey, Joe. Shredded Wind. And honestly, 254.
Oh my goodness. Reddit Win, thanks so much for stopping by. Joe, you as well. I really appreciate everybody who stopped by and hung out. Let's go ahead and update that now. I'll bring it over to our score screen, and then we'll see if we can't get an interview all lined up.
This is the hour.
And then please, I know sometimes, you know, a lot of y'all want to hop off like while the interview is going or after the games have ended. We're actually going to have a couple of announcements afterwards if you want to hang out. I know CCS has some really fun stuff going on tonight, even though they didn't get the W. There's still a lot of really fun Heroes action that you guys can check out over there. So If you want to hear all about that, please hang out. And if not,
This
you
is
know,
the hour of the
that's all right
scourge.
too. This is the hour of the scourge. Thank you everybody for stopping by. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the subs. I appreciate it more than you guys know. This is my livelihood now. So if you enjoy the streaming and the casting, then you know. I'll keep doing it as long as I can like pay rent and stuff. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. Let's go hop to Discord and see where our friends are.
Good plan. We don't appear to have anyone in the NGS yet, I believe, unless they have different names.
I'm gonna hop in a lobby
Uh,
too because I did tell the teams at the start they could just hop into a lobby with me.
let's do
So
that.
we'll lose Tetcher's beautiful face for just a moment, but we'll have the teams back in a moment.
Nice.
Nice.
In while we're waiting, spam your Krog champs. So everyone can see Krog champ.
Spam this Krog if the game was Pog. Doesn't even make any sense. Hello there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks so much for stopping by.
I'm Special Chai from CMAD.
Alrighty. I was trying to find, an eloquent way to ask
Yes.
that, but we're doing with by Special Chai from Clouded Minds After Dark. How you feeling after your win?
Oh man, so we were really worried about this match. I've played against CCS. I used to be on another DivC team, and they beat us almost every season. So I was really worried about it. I'm the tank for our team, and
Mm-hmm.
Valkamir is a really, really strong tank player. So I kind of
Yeah.
felt like I might be outmatched. But we brought it. It felt great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys did a fantastic job. You got the 2-0 tonight, which must feel really fantastic because you guys are now in third place in your division. So you must be super excited about that.
For sure. We're a new team to the division, so having a really strong opening season, I think we've lost one map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Feels
Nice.
amazing. It feels
Yeah.
fantastic.
Also,
Awesome.
as a point, it's 2 points for a domination, right?
It's 3 points for a domination.
3 points. Oh,
Yes.
then my maths was completely off. They're not in third. You guys are tied for first.
Oh,
All
that's
right, let's
exciting!
go.
You are tied with Cool Cats and Kittens. Have you had the chance to play them yet?
We haven't. We
Ooh, hype.
are terrified of them because they have been playing extremely well. I've heard they
Mm-hmm.
got some coaching from some high-level coaches through the off season when they moved from Div D to Div C, and
Mm-hmm.
they're playing really, really strong.
Yeah, definitely. So, moving to the games. Game number 1, they take you to Volskaya Foundry. Now, you guys played a super spicy full bruiser Deathwing comp there for your first game. Is that something that you guys typically do on the map? Is that, just kind of an adjustment to their picks? Tell us a little bit about your draft.
So, in scouting them, I observed that they relied on certain types of engage
Mm-hmm.
to win big team fights.
Right.
And Triple Bruiser has very few vulnerable targets, and Tassadar has a self peel. So we
Mm-hmm.
just brought a bunch of chunky frontliners and a Tassadar to both games. And it
Okay.
makes it really, really hard for them to find a really good Blessed Shield target, which
Right.
is one of their favorite kinds of engage.
Right. Makes sense. What you, Tetcher? Any questions from you? I don't want to steal them all before you get the chance to ask.
Well, just in general, the Tassadar in these compositions. In the first composition, you had the Gazlo to make up a little bit of the damage, but you mentioned in terms of stuff that has self peel or self sustain. So where does the Rhaegar fit into this?
So Rhaegar is a little bit of extra burst, has an
Mm-hmm.
incredible save, and a really valuable cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going to kill our one vulnerable target, there's multiple saves that Rhaegar has in the kit, and then the rest of our comp can kind of just do their thing and self-sustain. Thrall also brings buckets and buckets of damage. Like, I think people are sleeping on Thrall. I think the Thrall meta has been a long time coming. That hero is amazing.
Yeah. You guys ran that very aggressively as well with a more melee focused build as opposed to the more standard one with the Thunderstorm at level 13, getting a bit more stuck in there, but with no spell shield against their composition. Is the idea literally just to get stuck in and do as much damage as possible?
I don't know why we chose the build on Thrall. I think it was kind of an adjustment to bring a little more assassin type damage, more in your face. Like if somebody jumps in the back line, the one of the best peels is to make them feel like they're going to die. And
Makes
so
sense.
if Thrall is just wailing on them, making them feel like they're going to die, then they can't come into our back line. And it's hard to go front to back against 3 frontliners.
So you're saying
Right.
best counterplay to hard engage is call an ambulance, but not for me.
Yes, exactly.
All right, you guys did a fantastic job. Game number 1, really had a dominant game there. Now, game number 2 was a little bit more spicy. They went kind of a run it down comp where they kind of disregarded the objective. Were you worried at all? Especially, by that second objective, you guys had just as much value as CCS did, despite the fact they had gotten no objectives.
Yeah. So when I saw the Azvanan lock, I was concerned. But Hogger Sonya Wave Clear is really good, it turns out. And so we were able to get the camps faster than them on a quicker routine.
Right.
And then W build Sonya can just kind of int on forts. And Hogger just does so much work in team fights.
Right.
I think it's really great to be able to work the game outside of team fights, but at the end of the day, it's really hard to win without killing people.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you guys had an absolutely perfect game. Nobody died on your team that time round.
Yes, our Rhaegar player is really good at the hero.
We noticed.
Yeah, she nailed some really good ancestrals, some cleanses that really saved some people, and then just the team-wide damage mitigation through slows. Like, it's really hard for heroes to pivot on vulnerable targets if they're slowed all the time.
Right.
Yeah. You guys have so much disruption. The fact that you went 3 bruisers, every single basically wins any 1v1 they go into, making it very hard to counterplay. I want to say, though, due to the fact that you guys played very macro, basically 3 independent players in this draft, and then Rhaegar just sticking with Tassadar most of the time, who's doing the shot calling there? Who's doing the macro calls? And who decides when you group up?
So I do the macro shot calling. I'm technically our tank player, but I think a lot of tanks are undertuned, so I pick other heroes and call them tanks.
Yeah.
I've heard this before.
It's a meme on our team that if a hero has any type of CC, it's immediately a tank for Special Shy.
Oh, the adjusting meta, a classic. It got them like no big deal. Like they were like second or something in CCL, so just a small tournament,
Yeah.
I look forward to the Zagara main tank.
Well, so Zagara doesn't have a reliable self peel or escape, so she's not a tank.
Also,
she's
Vala
just
main tank with Rain of Vengeance.
Oh, what? Okay.
Stop trying to make Vala happen.
You'll see Lucio main tank one of these games. It'll fit. Lucio's one of my tanks.
I love it.
Well, thanks so much for taking time to chat with this special time. I'm going to go ahead and open the floor to you for any shout-outs and call-outs you want to do within reason. The floor is yours, my dear.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Thanks to you both for casting our match. Thanks to our opponents. I love playing against CCS teams. CCS 1 through infinity. I've always had a good time interacting with them. Thanks to my team. Everybody was super, pumped, super good in comms. Everybody just, I really appreciate walking into a team brand new and having everybody just gel. It's a really great experience.
Yeah.
And thanks to the NGS folks. these volunteer tournaments are super fun, and they elevate the game to a level that you don't get in normal Storm League. So it's such a pleasure to play in these amateur tournaments.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks so much. All right. Well, you go ahead and get back to celebrating with your team and have a wonderful evening, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great night.
Thank
you both.
Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and call Tetcher back and then talk a little bit about what CCS is up to and then what me and Tetcher are up to. So, yeah, I'll have them back here in just a minute. Hello.
And my face. And
All
I
right.
am the sun.
You are the sun, but you are still very handsome. Alrighty, there we go. Now we're the same color. So, for those of you who still want to see some Heroes of the Storm action, play some heroes, look at some heroes, the members of CCS are doing their open house tonight, which is, they said as soon as their game was over, they're going to get started. So they should be getting started on that right now. They have a ton of different players, you know, all the way from Bronze 5 to Grandmaster. So you guys can head over to the CCS Discord, check that out, play some games. They just do some customs. It's a lot of fun, and you guys should really check it out because they're a cool group. They're a cool organization. They do a lot of stuff to help folks, you know, kind of at the opposite end of Heroes of the Storm because, you know, everything is for, like, #1 GM, like, the greatest players. But if you're stuck in gold, like me, and you're like, well, how do I become a #1 GM? You guys can check out CCS. They are really great for that. I lagged out of my mind, but there we go, you know. So go ahead and stop by there. And, you know, if you're done with Heroes of the Storm tonight, you're like, you know what, I don't want to, I'm chill. I don't want to, like, put that much thinking in. Then over in my Discord, we are having our Among Us night this evening, and that's going to start, you know, shortly after this cast. We'll be streaming it. So if you want to come in and play that, you can go ahead and hit !Discord in chat and go to the Discord, and we'll be getting that set up here in a little bit. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Tetcher, thanks so much for casting me. It's an absolute pleasure, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. Where can folks find you when they're not on the Jinxeekatt stream?
You can find me on Tetcher on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, where I commentate and make weird comedy things, including quizzes and other such shenaniganry. Sometimes I run tournaments when I can find someone to pay the budget, which is always nice. So yeah, Tetcher and all those things. New emotes on Twitch. So drop a sub over there. They are absolutely gorgeous from Alarak of the Storm. So get your owls. They are over there. And I appear on Jinxie stuff. I appear on this channel during her hot streams. I'm on her YouTube where we do meme videos together, which are some of my favorite things that we do. Speaking of which, a new one comes out tomorrow, which is pretty great. And if there's space in Among Us later, you might see me in that, where if our previous Among Us games are anything to go by, we will ruin our relationship as I slowly extend the set of distrust that you have for me by being a horrible, horrible lie bastard.
If you want to watch, if you haven't seen enough of tilting of me today through Salty Saturday, like, Among Us is actually triggering. So that'll be up in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to throw on the timer, and then we'll go from there in probably the next 5 to 10 minutes. And if you like this, then please drop a follow. So many of you did. In fact, why don't we go ahead and go through some of those super quickly. Zimara, thank you very much. Rackham, bless your soul for those 5 cheers. Weenus, thank you very much for the 69 bits. It looks like 5 times. Swing time, bless you. Blackstar, thanks so much for the follow. Trulana, thank you for the 100 bits. Crinitix, thank you very much. Track6, thank you for the drink. I need it. Zephyrmont, thank you. Tiger, thank you for the 500 bits. Much Man, CCS Wolf. Jake the Reptilian is a fantastic name. Thank you guys all so much for the follows. Please, if you like, thank you, Tiger, for the follow. If you like Heroes of the Storm, if you like World of Warcraft, Pokemon, Slay the Spire, I'm trying to get the permission to play some Muse Dash on my channel, Eternal Return, Black Survival. We play that all over here, over on twitch.tv/Jinxeekatt, so you guys can stop by, then I would appreciate this. This is my full-time job, so, you know, anytime you guys are here chatting, hanging out, viewing, it really, really helps me because rent's expensive, man. It's hard being alive. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, guys. I appreciate it. And it costs you exactly $0 to throw my stream up on mute and just like post a smiley face like every hour or so. And it really means the world to me when you guys hang out and chat. So thank you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back casting on Nexus Gaming Series on Sunday where we cast Storm Division, and then back here on Monday where we'll have another wonderful series for you guys. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so very much for chatting. We'll see you later, and we're getting some Among Us streams starting really soon. Bye-bye, friends.
Bye.
For the Lich King.